Hello, and welcome to Your Princess is Problematic. We dive deep into Disney movies and other kids' movies with nostalgia goggles on, and then dissect and rip them to shreds with our adult brains.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to that show.
Welcome.
And welcome to week 2 of the social distancing edition.
Yes.
Yes, that.
I think we're doing it slightly better this time. We'll see.
Yes, the most.
Are we?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Nikki sounds better at
You
least.
tell us.
Yes, the most socially distant person that you're hearing across the room over there, definitely furthest away, is Jessica.
Yes. I am in a room about, I don't know, how many miles apart are we?
You're about
I don't know,
45
whatever 45
Michigan minutes
of
away.
driving around lakes and other bullshit
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that in her throne is Nikki, who is actually sitting pretty far. I will say, you guys are observing the 6 feet rule, I think.
We're at least 4 or 5 feet apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that you have to be when you live together, but
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's still good.
Yep.
I appreciate your efforts.
hmm Anyway, and who are you?
And I'm Thomas.
There we go. There it is.
Perfect.
There's our boy.
Yes.
I'm a good boy. All right.
So
Welcome.
what's happening this week, guys?
Yeah, so the social distancing. Yes. Disclaimer. We had some technical difficulties in recording this week.
Yeah. Jessica's
My
computer
laptop
blew up.
imploded.
Yeah.
Jessica's laptop fell from 14 stories and also had the screen of death and screamed at her. And also all the cables don't work and
Yes.
and
Nothing works.
Nothing works. And
Skype doesn't work.
Yep, Skype won't work on our computer, and we've just decided we're gonna Facebook video chat each other, and well,
At least we get to see each other this
we
way.
get to see each other this time.
Yeah.
And last time she could see us, but we couldn't see her. But Jessica and I cheated and socially distancedly saw each other this week.
Yes, we did.
We were out.
It was so good. It was so nice.
Mhm. We painted.
I needed it, honestly.
Yeah, we painted some windows outdoors together. Outdoors, 6 feet apart from each other. Painted some windows.
Totally.
Some
Yeah.
coffee, some muffins and bagels on some windows for her coffee shop.
Oh
And-
my.
And then Jessica found a loophole for how to see my children with social distancing.
Yes. Yeah, I got offered a shift at the store near their house, so I was like, yeah, if I go there, you guys can come through the drive-through. Technically, we'll be 6 feet apart.
Mm-hmm. The girls were very excited to see Jess. And Evie was very sad to leave. She did not understand why we were not staying to see Aunt Jester longer. Like, could you see her sad little face in the back seat too? She was like, "Wait, what?" Like, we're like, "Hey, we gotta go now." She was like,
Yeah,
what?
it was like
She misses
the
her Aunt
epitome
Jess.
of the ev.exe has stopped working. Like,
Right.
she was not comprehending it.
"Yeah,
And that was about the time when I started tearing up because I was like, she's sad, and also it's really hitting me how much I miss everybody.
Yeah. yeah."
I was like,
Yeah.
no, quick, go before I start crying.
Right. Tonight, I was trying to work on our Shutterfly album from our Disney trip to, finish the day at Epcot still.
Yeah.
And so I was going through all of the Disney pictures, and she was sitting next to me on the laptop while I was doing it. And she wanted to look at all the pictures in the album that have her and Scarlett in it. And therefore, all the pictures that have, like, all of our family and stuff in it. And she goes,
Right.
looking at pictures of like Julie and have you in it and her Nana and her Ava and everybody. And she's like, I miss them. I'm like, yeah, I know. She misses, like, she's asking to talk to people. She wants to see people. She doesn't understand why she can't see anybody. And she goes, yeah, because of the sickness. I'm like, yeah, because of the sickness.
Yeah. All right. So, this week, what I like to call Cap No Cap. Because it's a Captain movie, but there's no cap in it. Captain Marvel. I just broke Jess.
I was not expecting that. That's, Was not expecting both the dad joke and the cake no cake reference.
If you'd like to hear Cake No Cake, please refer to either Emperor's New Groove or the Lion King episode.
It's one of those.
It's one of those,
It's
too.
one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah. Or Jess will tell it right now. No, she won't.
No, I definitely will not.
Yeah. So Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
the second movie in the chronological order of
Yes.
the Marvel movies.
Yes. Because, in case you didn't get it when you watched the movie, this movie's set in the 90s.
Yes.
I don't understand where you were supposed to gather that from, though. So it never really says it.
Yeah.
And there's really no references.
There's definitely no references of the 90s in it.
Especially not references that they blatantly, like, pause the rest of the movie to observe.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yep, yep. Yep.
Yikes on bikes. Oh, right.
Yikes on bikes.
So.
I will say, though, I do appreciate the music in this movie.
Huh.
You don't?
Nikki has things to say about the music.
Oh, okay.
We've never, Jess, you and I have,
We haven't really talked about this movie.
well, because this came out, this was more of the recent ones, and when this came out, and like Endgame and all that came out,
This
was
movie
when
directly preceded Endgame.
this all came out when Jess was like behind in the Marvel movies in real life.
Right.
And so like we weren't talking about the Marvel movies together. So this one never really came up in discussions with her. So this one wasn't one we ever really talked about.
Yeah.
So with that being said, why don't you ask us the first question then?
So, Nikki.
Oh, you want me to go first? So
I don't know. It was between one of you. So
I'll go first then.
I'm going to say Nikki because you're here.
Cool.
So
you are here.
I am here.
Yeah.
And you're not.
So Nikki, what's your experience with this movie?
So prior to watching this movie last night or 2 nights ago now, I only saw it one other time, and that was in the movie theater with you when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I did not care for it when it came out. I thought it was a big build-up for a girl power action movie, and I was really, really let down and did not care for it, and kind of walked out with a, what is it, much to be desired? Is that the phrase? Disappointed. Yeah, I was disappointed.
Unsatisfied.
Yeah, I was very unsatisfied with it. I was like, that was not what I had hoped for at all in the movie. So that's how I felt about it.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Jessica, what's your experience with this movie?
Well, as Nikki said, I did not see this in the theater because I was behind and didn't want to get my Marvel timeline thrown out of whack, so I waited and saw it very recently, actually. And mom and I watched it because we were getting ready to watch Endgame or something like that. We were like, fuck it, let's do what we need to do to get to Endgame.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we rented that one and watched it, and I didn't have any expectations going in. And so, I mean, I don't know a ton about Captain Marvel as a character. I know a lot of the artwork of her, but I don't know much about her actual character.
I did a little bit of research.
I had no expectations. I had no, nothing. And I remember when we watched it that I wasn't wowed by it, but I also wasn't mad at it. I was just kind of like, yeah, that happened. Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah.
There were moments that I liked. There were moments where I was bored.
Yeah.
But, it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I was disappointed because I usually, as I think I've stated before, origin movies tend to be my favorites.
Yeah.
And so I had kind of hoped for more, but, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Is kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tomas?
So, I also didn't really know much about this character. I'm much more familiar with the DC Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Now known as Shazam, mostly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a DC and Marvel Captain Marvel.
I could have sworn we talked about this when we saw Shazam, dude.
Shazam. Oh. So
As in the movie that everybody loved and we were kind of just okay with?
Yeah.
So Shazam.
Right.
Shazam until like the past like 5 years.
Uh-huh.
This is Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And pretty sure he was around first. I think I don't remember exactly, but there was a period of time where both Marvel and DC both had a Captain Marvel.
Well, that seems silly.
Yeah, they're very different characters, different powers.
But DC has Condiment Man, so it's fine.
I mean, Marvel also has dumb superheroes, so.
But Condiment Man.
Yeah.
Who wrote that and thought that was a good idea? Stupid. Go on. Hold that, Sven.
So, I mean, I wasn't really super excited about this movie just because it's not really a character I care about. As far as I could tell in my research into Captain Marvel before this movie, the only thing interesting that this character did was get her powers sucked by Rogue.
Like the X-Man?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Like the X-Man Rogue?
Yeah, X-Man Rogue. She gets her ability to fly and stuff from...
Is Rogue Halle Berry? No, that's Storm.
No.
Is Rogue Jennifer's girlfriend?
Rogue is
Anna
Sookie Stackhouse.
Sookie Stackhouse.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Like, I don't even know, like, in my head, like, what her character looks like in it at all.
She has a little white streak on her hair.
That tells me
That's
nothing.
really all there is to her character.
Wow, that's
there really is.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are really selling the X-Men movies to me. I'm not
a big fan of the X-Men movies.
There's only like 2, maybe 3 good ones.
2 or 3 seems like a lot, considering there's like 5.
There's 7 of them, I think.
Jesus, what is this? The Fast and the Furious?
Maybe 7 or 8 of them.
Julie was telling me that she and Zach are watching the Fast and the Furious movies during their quarantine. She goes, "These movies are surprisingly good." And I'm like,
I would watch those.
Ugh. I said, your boyfriend has terrible taste in movies.
I would watch them.
Yikes.
I like the first one.
I remember the first one being okay, but I remember the second one not, and then I didn't watch any after that. Yikes. All right, moving on.
Oh, yeah.
So your thoughts of the movie.
I wasn't excited for the character because I don't really care about her. And then I went and saw the movie, and I couldn't help but compare it to Wonder Woman because obvious reasons. And I just felt disappointed. I didn't feel I didn't feel inspired. I didn't feel any kind of connection to the character. I just thought, it's like, okay, sure. And also, there was not really any real tie-in to Avengers Endgame, so I was like, why did I come see this? Kind of thing. Right. So I just kind of was like, whatever. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start the movie. Beginning of the movie. We start off with...
Thomas has to walk us through the entire movie because I told him, like, I don't know anything. Go ahead.
We start off with a very nice tribute to Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
The opening cards, I think. It's very nice. This was the first Marvel movie to come out after the death of Stan Lee. So they did a very nice job to tribute to him.
Yeah. And at the time, I remember, even in the movie theater, though, I remember being like, oh, God. Like, right off the bat, be like, you got me right away.
Not as much as Spider-Man.
Did Spider-Man get us more?
One was better.
Was the Spider-Man one better?
Yeah, I think so.
Because was that his last cameo was in Spider-Man?
No, his last one was in Endgame.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he had one. We didn't go see the new Spider-Man movie, so I don't know if he has one in that or not. But I think Endgame was his last one.
Whatever the overseas one was.
Yeah, the one with Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Like Italy or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Huh.
We'll get there in like 3 years. It's fine.
Yeah, we got time.
We start off with our introduction to Brie Larson's character, Veers. And she can't sleep, so she goes and fights Jude Law.
Who's clearly the bad guy from the frickin' minute you meet him, by the way.
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah. Yes, Jessica.
Mr. I don't try to solve crime during the movie.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Did you have that one pegged?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think it was... I knew that she obviously wasn't going to be here at the end of the movie.
Right.
Because she has to come back and be Captain Marvel. So
she's legally required to be Captain Marvel.
So I knew that she wasn't going to be Veer's random Star Force soldier person the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I felt like it was easy to figure out he was the bad guy from the beginning because A, Jude Law's rarely the good guy in a movie. He's either a love interest, like a romantic lead, and
right.
Marvel movies don't really have the love interest situation happening. And
so, I mean, yeah,
not really, right? And B, as soon as they're on that subway train thing and they're talking, they're like, well, everybody in the Matrix has to talk to the Matrix guy, but nobody knows who the Matrix guy looks like, and nobody can talk about who the Matrix guy looks like, and did you take the blue pill or the red pill, but no one can talk about it, you know? Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, vague, you're the bad guy. Like, you're the guy that's controlling everybody. That's what I thought when I saw it the first time, was that he's the guy that's controlling everything, but...
That's fair.
But
I'm pretty sure I was suspicious of him from the beginning. Yeah. I didn't necessarily think he was the one pulling all the strings, but which I guess he kind of wasn't. It was a joint Kree effort, but
right.
I didn't see him as like the main villain, which I guess he wasn't technically. But I also was like, oh, they're doing the thing where they tell the woman to control their emotions.
Right.
Oh, they have the thing where they use the technology to restrain her powers because she's too powerful. So, right. I mean, like...
Yeah.
Okay, man. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I feel like the controlling your emotions thing is such a cliche of itself that I'm just kind of over. It's kind of up there with the, don't let people get close because they'll be targets.
Right. You
know, for the Spider-Man conundrum. Like, I can't be in a relationship with you, Mary Jane, because my enemies will
you mean you. Like the first three? Oh, you mean all three of the first three Spider-Man movies?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's such a superhero trope, and it's old, so...
Yeah. Should we...
I find the whole control your emotions thing similar. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
Should we watch those with a live camera on me the whole time and just have it like in a time lapse?
There's a thing that Nostalgia Critic does in his YouTube channel called First Viewing, where it's him and his brother, and they will watch whatever movie they're reviewing that week. And like usually it'll be at least one of their first time seeing it, and they record themselves watching it with commentary stuff.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
And so when they're on one of my big issues with Brie Larson when I saw this the first time, I like Brie Larson as a person, as an actress in general, and other things that I've seen her in. She was on a show that I really liked called United States of Terra, which have her and Toni Collette. Is that her name?
Yeah.
That's in that show that you and I really liked, Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Right? That's her name?
Yes, it's Toni Collette. Yep.
Yeah, Toni Collette has dissociative identity disorder, so she has a bunch of personalities. Brie Larson plays her teenage daughter in it, and she's really good, and she's young in it. She's like 17, 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the first thing I had ever seen her in, and I really liked her in that. But when I had seen this movie the first time, I didn't really care for Brie Larson's line deliveries, and a lot of her stuff just seemed very dry, but like, I'm trying to be funny, but I'm trying to be dry funny, but it was like too much.
Let's go ahead and talk about that, because
I think that's also another one of the big things about this movie is Brie Larson's performance in it and her actions surrounding it.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like they told her to behave like an alien.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
I see what you mean.
Because she gives me very, like, trying not to be human vibes.
Like monotone, almost.
Yeah, and, like, emotionless. And there are moments where she's doing, like, a sassy, smug, sarcastic line delivery, and I like that. Like, that, the dryness works for that. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the time, it just makes me not care about what she's talking about.
Right.
And it makes me think that she doesn't care about what she's talking about either.
Yeah, there's a lot of just I had this thought when I saw it the first time too, but she just seems very wooden, just very stiff, not.
Yeah.
Like, I agree. Like, it doesn't seem like she really cares that she's there.
She doesn't care about anything at all. Like, she doesn't have any, like, passion for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, why do I care about you as a character or what you're doing if you don't give a shit?
And not having... When a character doesn't have their memories, in general, it's hard to care about a character when you don't...
When the character doesn't have a character.
Like, I don't know what to care about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it was really hard to care about her.
Yeah.
And even when she starts to get her memories, you're still kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't know if this is going to be a running thing for me this episode or not, but I'm going to compare it to Wonder Woman. And in Wonder Woman, you can tell that Diana is passionate about what's happening in the movie. Like,
There's
you can
absolutely
tell
no
that
question.
she cares.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that she's acting from her heart.
Uh-huh.
And this, it's just like, yeah, I guess, whatever. I'll just do it.
Her motivation is that she's just doing what people tell her to, and she doesn't know or care why.
Right.
Absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
With that assessment. Yeah, I think I don't think that, again, I don't necessarily think that she acted it poorly, because we've seen her in other things.
We know she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just wondering if she got bad direction.
Was given bad direction.
I think,
And bad lines. Like, there's a part when they're on the subway train thing, and she goes, "Why would you give me these if you don't expect me to use them?" And I wasn't, like, looking up, and I'm like, "Are you talking about boobs? What are we talking about?" And, like, like, she's talking about, like, she's holding her fists, like, her hands, like,
yeah.
But that could easily be like, "Why would you give me these if you don't expect me to use them?"
I think
like,
they expect you to be watching the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
I know, but still.
I think that was a you thing. But no, the dialogue is not great.
Right.
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah.
And I'm going to venture to say that they realized that they wanted her in Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of maybe dropped the ball on coming up with a story for her
Yeah.
before that.
Well, they
And
do.
they were kind of like, shit, we gotta release this movie real fast.
Even with that though, like, she doesn't really do anything in Endgame.
She shows up in Endgame and it's like, "Hey
Exactly,
guys,
yeah.
I can't really do anything because I'm
Yeah.
actually too powerful, because if I helped, I'd probably just fix everything. So I'm going to go take care of stuff over here. Bye!" And leaves. And literally she shows up to
Yeah.
leave. That's it.
Right.
And then she comes back during the end fight and blows up the ship and, like, doesn't really do anything. Because...
Yeah, they really just bring her
Yeah.
back for that one girl power moment that they shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Blatantly.
Yeah.
Stop
But
trying.
that's an Endgame conversation, okay?
Right, yeah.
So,
Hey, we'll get there in 2 years. It's fine.
it's a very weird movie. It's, it doesn't feel
Dolly.
like an origin story.
Hey,
She's fine. She's far
Oh.
away from my food.
she looks like her nose is right in your box.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's...
Um,
I feel like this movie is trying to be like an empowering girl power movie,
Oh, that's exactly what this movie
but
is.
it like also
it
doesn't.
tries too
it-
hard, though.
It's either
it doesn't
trying too
actually-
hard or it doesn't really care about it. Like, it depends on what point of the movie you're in, you know?
Yeah, it's really weird. And it's so different from Marvel's other origin movies. And I don't know why they suddenly couldn't write a movie. Like Iron Man's movie, you totally understand who he is as a person, why he's doing the things he's doing, why he changes.
Yeah, we don't really get any of that with her. It's just like, we have no idea who she is.
So,
we just kind of bumble
what
along.
the fuck happened?
She's just
They
a
can't
girl
do
who has powers and is really strong and can
And she's-
fly.
right.
The plot just kind of bumbles along too, like, and she just kind of bumbles along even like as it's happening. And like, we get to the subway, or we get through we go through the subway, we meet what's her face,
The Supreme Intelligence.
What's her name?
What?
Lawson?
Pegasus Lawson.
What are you talking? What part of the movie are you talking
The
about?
next part, she meets
So after the fight with Jude Law.
the AI.
Yeah, we meet the Supreme Intelligence.
Right.
Cream intelligence. That's what it is. Yeah.
And then we go to that other planet.
Right.
And I feel like we're just like we just we're given a ton of information really quickly about like.
And none of it matters.
None of it matters.
None of it matters. We don't really understand the Kree motivation,
right?
Aside from what you already know about the Kree from watching.
Aside from we're
Guardians.
fighting Skrulls,
right?
Which they don't really explain what Skrulls are for a while. But I mean, but then we go on our mission together to this planet, which I think looks cool. The costumes are cool. Her little mohawk helmet is cool.
Yeah.
I guess.
But I mean, it just doesn't matter. None of it matters.
It's because again, they're just bumbling along, and then what? And then she gets.
It's just happening because something needs to be happening.
Then they get ambushed, and she gets captured.
Right. And then we get flashbacks.
Yeah,
right?
and then we start seeing her memories from Earth.
Right. And we start to. This is when we start to throw in the first. A lot more of the girl stuff. You're going too slow and stuff like that, which I get. Like, I understand what they were trying to do, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that was all. And then I was going to go into how they named the cat Goose and the color Ace, and I was going to ask you, is all of that Top Gun references? Because it all seemed like Top Gun references. Do you like this whole part because it looks like Top Gun with girls?
No.
Okay. Or does it annoy you that it looks like Top Gun?
I think aesthetically it looks awesome.
It does look cool. Yeah.
I don't know if you were able to hear me, but I had a audible ugh a couple times during this scene. The one that I can definitely point out is when there's that one pilot dude and he's like, there's a reason they call it a cockpit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, all right, fucking shit. I worked with fighter pilots for 10 years. Yes. They are dicks. They are assholes. But that's a little extreme and a little obnoxious. And also, you're trying this is one of the moments where you're trying way too hard to make this a female empowering thing.
Right.
Yeah, there were a lot of moments in this movie that were way too on the nose.
It was a lot of like, hey, aren't guys assholes?
Right.
Moments in this scene.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, we get it. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
Jesus.
For sure. I feel like there was another thing during that made me go. What I did like was when they did the flashback and we got to her and they kept replaying it and they kept you got like a little bit of the dialogue with the Skrull. Yeah, I thought
like that too.
I thought that was cool, and I liked Brie Larson's acting in that part was good. Like, what she, like, her reactions and, like, her being like, can you hear that? Like, when she does, like, that sort of stuff, I'm like, yeah, you're a good actress. But, anyway. And then I get immediately annoyed with her in the next scene when they start doing all the fighting and stuff. It's just like, you guys wouldn't happen to know how to get these things to come off? No? Fine.
Yeah, there was a couple line reads like that when I was like, are you trying to be funny? Because it definitely did not land.
Right.
And
yeah.
Yeah, but the whole chase scene through the spaceship with her arms and the things. And, I mean, there are a couple of cool parts, I guess, but it's just kind of, all right, let's just get to Earth now.
I'm going to make another generalization here so that I don't have to keep bringing it up. But
in Wonder Woman, no.
No. In fact, actually, I'm going to make a different comparison here. To Captain America's origin movie.
The real Captain.
How they focused on developing the character and they kept the action scenes to a bare minimum and they were very strategically done. And then when they finally did, show action, it wasn't pointless.
Right.
Yeah.
And there were a lot more action scenes in this than I expected, and they all dragged on way longer.
Right.
Than I was getting bored with the action scenes because I didn't care.
I got bored
about
several
anybody
times during this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't like understand what the motivation for fighting was, and it was going on for just way too long. So, yeah, not a fan of the action sequences in this. Again, there were cool moments.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wish that they just showed a couple of them and kept it very brief.
There were cool moments, and overall the movie is very pretty.
Yes.
But it's just not well executed.
It's not substantial. Yeah. There's
no substance to it.
And there's no way that she got her boots on and got into that little thing and ejected out of that thing on time. I just want to say. Because she went back in the room and grabbed her boots and then, like, was running and got out that little ship and got out of there. I'm like, no way. If the Kree, or the Skrulls, they were the Skrulls. The Skrulls didn't want to really hurt her or kill her, and they just wanted her help. Why are they attacking her at this point? And why aren't they just being like, oh, hey, yo, girls, yo, lady, we actually just need your help. I mean, I know it would have cinematically been not entertaining.
Is the Skrulls are fighting the Kree right now.
Oh, and they think
they
she's a Kree.
don't know that. Well, they know she's a Kree because she's wearing a Kree uniform and she was fighting with other Kree.
Right.
So they think that she is like the rest of the Kree and just wants to kill them.
Oh, right, because they were like, "Oh, this
war.
Isn't right." When they were looking at their memories, that's right.
I read it as, I mean, obviously at that moment, the movie wants you to believe that they are the villains.
Right.
And so they have to set up a fight scene.
Right.
But I read it as the Skrulls' motivation being to essentially knock her out so they can get her hooked back up to the machine that will allow them to, because they need more information from her.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And she's clearly not going
willingly.
easy.
Right. Yeah.
So
okay.
I think they're just trying to knock her out.
Yeah.
But still, again, like we said, who cares? Like we don't care at this point.
Yeah.
And then we get to C-53.
Yes, and we land on the planet of Earth.
So another situation where I wish I hadn't seen trailers is this, because I hated that I saw that, like, she lands in a blockbuster and stuff like that, because nostalgically, I would have actually, I still enjoyed seeing it. I liked
that would have
seeing,
been a cute moment.
Yeah, it would have been cooler to see. I liked, seeing all the posters on the wall for, like, the Smashing Pumpkins and Bush. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't see all of the posters that were on there, but I recognized, like, the Smashing Pumpkins for the Melancholy album, and I think Bush or Rush, I can't remember now. I think it's Bush, though. That would make more sense. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. And then Coulson and Nick Fury show up, all reverse CG'd. Were you going to say something about that?
Yes, so we start the movie, we're over not important alien planet, who cares what its name is.
Right.
And then they figure out from Veers that what they need is on Earth. So then they're just like, well, let's just go to Earth. Zips up, and we're there.
Right.
And like, oh, we're looking for a Lightspeed engine. And I'm like, why? You can apparently go from wherever other solar system to Earth in like 2 seconds.
It's funny because when I first watched it, I didn't grasp that they needed to go to Earth, or that they knew they needed to go to Earth. I just thought that when they were in the escape pods, they were just like essentially crash landing on Earth.
Oh.
Because it was the closest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that they were there purely on accident. Right. So.
No, they definitely meant to go there. And they got there super fast. And I'm like, why? What advantage would a Lightspeed engine give you? You apparently are already capable of traveling faster than light.
Right.
So I don't understand what the point of this engine is.
Right.
Yeah. But then we landed in a blockbuster. Yeah.
Yes. And we see Coulson and Fury, but we don't get a buddy cop movie like I wanted it to be at all.
Well, I mean, if your buddy cop movie that you wanted is Captain Marvel and Nick Fury, then yeah.
Yeah, but I guess what I was hoping was that because Coulson was here again, because he's her rookie, so I would have assumed that he would have come along for everything with Fury. I also, the first time I saw this, had a feeling that, because you know when Coulson gets back in the car and he's like, did you see that weapon that she had? And she's like, no, I did not.
He's very, yeah.
Yeah, I actually had thought that he was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., is what I thought was happening the first time I saw it. And I thought that he was being like, no, I didn't see that at all.
Oh,
and
like he was down with everything.
Yeah,
and Fury wasn't on board yet.
Yeah, that's what I thought was secretly happening. And even this time when I watched it again, I was like, oh yeah, you're in S.H.I.E.L.D. And I was like, oh right, yeah, that's what happens. Right, you were not Coulson.
Because he is Skrullson.
Oh my God.
Jesus
You
Christ.
were so pleased with yourself.
You're so lucky you can socially distance yourself from this.
Wow. You guys, he was gearing up for that one.
He was waiting. Hard. He was waiting.
He's a mug asshole.
Wow.
Yeah, with that we laid in a Blockbuster. And don't you know it's the 90s? There's a Blockbuster and a Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm.
And the security guard that doesn't seem to care about being a security guard at all is just pointing her in the direction of what store she can break into next for all the things, too.
Right.
And the security guard was listening to... Was he listening to Salt and Peppa? I can't remember.
Yeah. He was listening to Salt and Peppa. Yeah.
Because we need to cram all the 90s references we possibly can.
Do you want to hear my thoughts on the soundtrack for the movie now or later?
Yes, please. Okay. Let's do that.
So, my thoughts for the movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
So, 90s music is very important to me. I love 90s music because... I can't keep up with that. 90s music is the decade of music that I started to listen to music, like that I started to have an opinion of music. So it's a very important decade of music to me. And therefore, I know a lot of 90s music. And I feel like because Guardians had such an amazing soundtrack and they did such a good job with their 80s, right? It's like an 80s, 70s,
I think
80s.
It's supposed to be 80s. It might be 70s.
But it's like not a cliche.
The first movie 70s, the next one's 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not a very like, it wasn't like a cliche top 20 70s or 80s movie for Guardians. It was very like, these songs.
Very curated.
Yes. And like what I feel like they did with this movie was they were like, we need to do this super 90s movie with these super 90s songs. And we're going to pick all these great songs from the 90s. They were like, hey, kid who was born in 1997 who's helping us write this superhero movie, why don't you pick out the soundtrack? And he was like, these were the top hits in the 90s. Boom, here you go. And like, they just like picked like obvious songs that were just popular in the 90s. And like, I just think they could have done way better on their 90s choices. They just picked very cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like
I'm just the girl being the song as she fights with at the end. I was like, no, come on.
That's actually the one song that I like.
Really?
One song and one, yeah.
And I love that song.
And that's exactly what I was like, I know it's cliche, I know it's terrible, but God help me, I fucking love that when that song comes on.
You and I
know.
This is the first time we're fighting.
In Guardians, the music, like, goes very seamlessly, and you don't, like, you don't really blatantly notice when a song starts playing.
Right.
It's not, like, super, like, jarring when
it sneaks up on you, and then you realize what you're listening to, and you're like,
You're like,
nice.
oh, shit, yeah, I know this song.
Yeah.
But, I think that what it is I think you're right. I think they just picked songs, but they didn't take into consideration what emotion is supposed to be in the scene and how that song will fit.
Yes. They could have.
So it was just a song is playing now.
Yeah, they could have picked.
And it's a 90s song.
Yeah, they could have done a really great job with the soundtrack and picked really great songs from the 90s that were still very recognizable songs that fit really well with the movie. And like, they were all songs that I really, really like. Don't get me wrong. Like, I loved Waterfalls. I loved Salt and Peppa. I loved I'm Just a Girl. Like, I loved a ton of the songs, but I was just like, I don't feel like any of these songs go with this movie at all. And I was just Boo. And I remember
that's the reason. I think that's the reason why I like that particular song and that particular scene is that it actually sort of has something to do with what is happening on screen.
I can see it. I can hear how it's a fighter song. I can hear how it's a fighting song. And I will give it to you of the songs, that one probably does fit the best. But I do remember when I saw this the first time being annoyed with it, but watching it this time, like this was, I was like, ooh, this is really annoying me this time. And I wrote like a whole paragraph on it this time. That's all. Thanks for listening. Moving on.
So now we go on our subway chase.
Yeah, another chase I don't care about.
Way too long.
Way too long.
But we see Stanley's cameo is very good.
That is very nice.
Yes. Also,
and I like that little look that she gives him. Even though
yeah.
And like she doesn't even know that he's gonna be dead. Like the look that she gives him. Like it's even sadder knowing that he's dead by the time this comes out. And
apparently when they were filming this, his health was in decline. So they actually had to, instead of record him saying lines, what he was saying in the scene, they actually just use unused audio from Mallrats.
Aww.
Because he couldn't speak well enough, I guess, apparently, for this cameo. So
that's so bad.
When we listened to Talk from Superheroes, when they did this episode, do you remember that they were saying that...
I don't remember anything that they said aside from that they liked it a lot more than we did. So.
Oh, yeah, they did love this movie. Apparently, the character that he plays in Mallrats is him talking about creating all of the Marvel characters or something like that. So his character reading the Mallrats script actually implodes the entire Marvel universe or something like that by him being on the subway is what they were saying.
Either that or it just means that Stan Lee is actually a watcher. So.
Yeah, something like that.
An IRL watcher.
So yeah, this chase goes on a super long time. I don't care. I don't understand why we're chasing. Like, I guess I don't really. Why does she just keep chasing him? I don't understand why she just doesn't let him go because she's running from her. It's just like, okay, bye. I have other
by the
things
time
to
we
do.
get to like on top of the subway car, I'm like, okay, I don't really care anymore.
I'm over it.
Does she kill him? I don't even remember what happens.
No, he gets away.
The pace is very Kylo Ren and what's her face?
On the boat, on the boat one, the water one,
on the Death Star ruins.
Yeah, that was a very long. That was a very long lightsaber duel. Where do we go next?
She steals a motorcycle next.
Yes.
The guy asked her to smile.
Yeah.
Then she steals his motorcycle.
And a 9-inch nail shirt.
Yeah. This is another one of like, okay, we get it. Guys are assholes. Let's move on. So.
Yep. Oh wait, no, before she steals the motorcycle, she goes on the internet, and that's actually funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do enjoy her plunking on the keyboard, like and being like, how do I click? And I do enjoy like all of the computer stuff that happens.
Yeah, there are a couple of technology related gags in this movie that are pretty funny.
Yeah. And think about how much funnier it'll be 20 years from now.
The only way it would have been funnier is if she was trying to do something on the computer with Microsoft Word and Clippy showed up.
Oh, God.
Freaking Clippy.
Star of the movie. Clippy.
I see you're trying to write a memo.
Right. And then she goes to the bar. Right? This is the bar?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, but she steals a motorcycle and rides off to the Pegasus site. And then we go do the autopsy.
Yeah, to the bar.
To the bar. Nick is, in the meantime, he's doing the autopsy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he meets her at the bar.
Yes.
Because Skrulson died in a crash.
Right.
So now they're doing the autopsy on his body.
Right.
So, as far as we know, in the Marvel Universe, this is the first time we've ever experienced alien life.
Yes. Right.
And they just had this alien just sitting out in the middle of a morgue, like, medical examiner office somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
No security.
And everybody's super chill about it.
Everybody's so chill about it.
No security, no hazmat suits, no quarantines.
No Area 51.
No hand washing.
Well,
no social distancing.
The coronavirus
no,
isn't
the
there.
fucking president.
It's like, this is the first time you've ever experienced alien life, and you're taking zero precautions.
They should have called Dr. Bill Pullman Harvey, PhD, president of Independence Day, and brought him over. And Will Smith would have shown up.
And Brent Spiner, a scientist guy.
Data.
So.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
It is.
So we always watch on 4th of July, Thomas and I.
That's the only movie you can watch on the 4th of July.
Yeah. Then they made a sequel not long ago.
It's not good.
It was not good.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Yes.
Alien autopsy. Then we go to the bar.
Yeah, and she rudely destroys a jukebox for no reason at all.
Why? Why are you an asshole?
Yeah, because she doesn't care about anything or anyone.
She doesn't care about anything.
She makes no sense. I don't understand her.
And also, it doesn't prove anything. First of all, Nick doesn't know that means that she's not a Skrull. Second of all, her saying Skrulls can't do that means nothing to Nick, because you're like, oh,
like,
maybe
he's just gonna take that.
This could just be a Skrull saying Skrulls can't do this, even though Skrulls can do it, to try to convince him that it's true. Like, this means nothing.
And this is another scene where her line delivery again is very, like, I'm bored watching them interact. I don't know.
It's because she has no passion for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just saying words.
I do enjoy her.
He's trying so hard.
Yeah.
I feel like he's trying really hard to carry the dialogue and the
Samuel L. Jackson is doing a very good job.
Yes.
He's trying his best. But
I think that's why it feels awkward, is because he's clearly trying.
He's trying. He cares. Right. You can tell
he's talking to a brick wall.
Yeah. Nick Fury being there definitely brings it up a notch for sure. It makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
What do we think of Samuel L. Jackson's reverse CG?
I think it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some moments where I'm like, whoa. Yeah. But for the most part, I thought they did a really good job with it.
You can definitely tell that Coulson's CG is not as good.
It's Coulson, the moments where I'm like, ugh.
You definitely still they spent way more time on Fury than they did on Nick's.
That's why Coulson's not in any scenes.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
Well, Coulson,
they're like, I don't know, we just can't get your fucking face to work.
Coulson doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look convincing.
It's just a little more obvious, yeah.
It's not convincing. But I think Fury's looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the dynamic a little more.
Okay.
Between Veers, or Carol, I guess we can call her Carol.
Just call her Carol, it's fine. Yeah.
And Nick Fury.
Yeah.
They seem to be very buddy right away.
Yeah.
And I don't
And she hasn't done anything to earn that.
Yeah, and I mean, they try to be like, oh, they're still a little suspicious of each other, but are they? And I don't know, it feels like they're very comfortable with each other for no reason, right off the bat.
Especially Nick.
Right.
Being very comfortable with her, an alien.
I feel like he quickly trusts her, and he's very quick to be like...
Well, he doesn't... I mean, I think they try to throw in that he doesn't actually trust her because he paged back up to come and help, but he's also being very trusting with her at other times. So it's kind of mixed messaging there.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes I like their dialogue, and then sometimes it makes me feel awkward. It's weird.
Yeah. But then we meet Goose.
Yes, we meet Goose, who is tied, for me personally, is tied for best character.
Yeah.
With somebody else.
It's also just a really good pet name.
I call Evie... I told Thomas, because, we've been talking about getting a cat. And he goes, oh, we can get a cat and name it Goose. I'm like, well, I call it Evie Goose, so we can't do that. Because when she was a baby, I used to call her Grumpy Goose.
I just like it because we're at a fighter squadron, and they named their cat Goose.
Because it's
just a blatant Top Gun reference.
Yes, I figured out. I had Thomas. Did you find out for me my cat question?
So
wait, I got Akuna Matata ask it to you.
Okay.
Hey Thomas.
Hey Nikki.
Is the cat that's in this movie a CG cat the entire time?
No. Here's the deal with the cat.
Tell me about the cat, Thomas.
They actually used 4 different stunt cats.
What? They use
For
many
this movie.
different kinds of cats for
Yes.
cat stuff?
But also, Brie Larson is allergic to cats.
What?
So every scene that she is in and has to every scene that her and the cat are in together is either CG or a puppet.
Wow. She
Yeah.
must have a really severe cat allergy if that's the case.
I guess that explains why she doesn't interact with the cat very much.
Yeah.
Wow. Mostly when people say they're allergic to animals, they're usually like, I'm technically allergic to cats too, but I can handle being around one.
Yeah. We're in the archives now.
Yeah, we're in the archives.
Going through the archives, and it's apparently super easy to find all the files on this top secret Lightspeed engine that we were working on and just decided to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed like it was really easy to find it.
Also, if she was a pilot there at some point, it's only been 6 years. Why does her thumbprint, first of all, not work?
Well, I can see
I
that.
guess they could have taken her out of the system, but
Well, why would she have had a thumbprint that worked in like the top secret stuff though? She was probably
That's
just like
fair.
a bottom of the peg
I guess that's fair.
pilot guy.
Also, it's speaking because of my military background. There is it's standard procedure when somebody leaves a unit to change all the combinations that he had access to,
Okay.
especially with secret classified stuff.
That's fair.
Yes.
Then what happens? I definitely was not in and out of consciousness for the next 10 minutes of this part of the movie.
There's the chase through the archives.
We find out that the Australian guy is actually a Skrull.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fury's boss is a Skrull now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get chased through the archives, and then we get the escape from the facility in the Quinjet.
Yeah, they steal a jet.
In the Quinjet, yep.
And then they fly to her lesbian
Then they
lover's
fly
house.
to Maria Rambeau's house.
Yes.
She's just friends
Yes.
with, but maybe also not. But maybe friends. But maybe a
Yeah.
lesbian. But maybe not.
Yeah, and also at some point during this scene, Jude Law, Von Rogg, Jude Law's character, talks to Ronan. Ronan's in this movie.
Ronan is in this movie.
Yes. Do you know who Ronan is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mean the character or the actor? Because I know both.
The character, mostly.
Yeah, he's the villain from Guardians.
Okay.
It's Merle.
I had to explain. It's not Meryl.
Oh, the other
No.
guy.
I had to explain to
The
Nikki.
first Guardians.
Yeah. When Ronan showed up in the movie when we went to see it, I had to explain to Nikki who he was because she didn't remember him from Guardians.
So it's like Red
Well,
Skull all over again.
Yeah.
Show me a guy one time. I don't remember.
But, yeah, so apparently Ronan's in this movie.
Can I tell you
Sort of.
how not excited I was that we were reviving the Kree as our villainous enemy thing?
Sure.
'Cause,
I'm not sure where you're going with this, so go ahead.
I don't know. Okay, so I think one of the other things that bothered me about this movie is that not only did the main character not have any emotions, but neither did the villains.
Right.
And I mean, the Kree are just like that. They're like bland, emotionless, blank slates. I get it.
I can see that for Von Rogg just because he is trying to tell her to control her emotions and he is like a Kree. Like he's just there to serve the supreme intelligence, like do what it wants. Like it's like it made more sense for him.
It's a general, I guess actually it's not just a Kree thing. It's been a Marvel movie villain thing for the most part up until this point. And I'm actually going to compare it to Disney movies, like in general Disney movies. Disney movie villains are the best because they just love being bad and they fucking own that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't help but like them even though you hate them.
Right.
And the only villain in the Marvel universe who actually has any emotion or fun doing what he's doing is Loki. And other than that, all the villains are just...
Well, Thanos.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Thanos as well, yeah.
Loki and Thanos are the only two good villains in the Marvel.
Exactly, and everybody else is just there because we need a villain, and there's absolutely nothing going on.
Yeah.
So I think that was another thing that made this tough to watch, is
just another bland Marvel villain.
With any emotion were Nick.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Talos.
Yeah. Well, I like Rambo too, Maria.
She actually did a very good job. Yeah.
That's actually my next note. Is that I like her much better than Carol in this movie.
I think in the comic books, at some point, Maria Rambeau is Captain Marvel.
So there's like 7 or 8 different Captain Marvels.
Yeah.
Like people that are Captain Marvel. So I think she is one at one point.
I think she was one before Carol Danvers was. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So that we get to her house now.
Yes.
And yes, I like her much better than Carol.
Same.
And her daughter's cute.
Yes.
And also there was a Fresh Prince reference thrown in that I enjoyed.
Is that then?
Huh?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. So when we meet the daughter, I think, is something about watching the Fresh Prince.
It's when they are like, we have to go up there and get it. And she's like, the daughter's like, Mom, you have to go. Otherwise, you're just going to sit here and watch Fresh Prince with me.
Oh, okay.
And Thomas was like, would she even know what Fresh Prince is? I'm like, everybody knows what Fresh Prince is, please.
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
When you're black.
Yeah. So we get to Maria's house and we get like, oh, you're back, all that stuff. And then the Skrulls show up and oh my god, the Skrulls are the good guys now.
Yep.
It's so confusing. And like, when I watched it this time too, I was like, oh, right. Okay. And now I'll, wait, what? Okay. So, and like, we just believe it. And we're like, oh, okay. Yes, I will help you.
That black box had a lot of information there.
Yeah, she goes
after the crash.
Yeah, she goes into her actual memory of the crash, and then she sees that Von Rogg is the one that kills Marvel or Lawson. So then she decides to help them.
Right.
So
I will say this was another technology moment that I really liked, was them putting in the CD and the CD-ROM, and then there being like a very long like dead silence.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, is everybody okay? And then she's finally like, what is happening?
I saw that and I was like, oh, fancy, you got CD-ROM.
oh man, you guys.
What?
We got to back it up for just a hot second here.
Okay, go ahead.
We got to talk about something else with technology that happened in this movie.
Back the truck up.
Back the truck up to when Nick Fury takes the thumbprint off of the piece of tape and puts it on the door. Yeah. And then later when he goes to get it out again. But when he goes to get it, he goes, I'm going to get out my tape. And she just goes, kaboom, and knocks it out the door. And he's like, you could have just done that before.
It's like, you sat there and watched me get this fucking tape off.
Yeah, that was one of the few humorous things that Brie Larson did that I actually enjoyed.
That's all. I forgot that we missed it, but that's all. I forgot to say
it was good to go back to that.
Sorry. I meant to mention that before.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to include the good with the bad.
Yes, and there is a lot of bad, so.
I did not write down every time I laughed, but I mean, I laughed a couple times throughout this movie. Like, yeah. Again, even on this watch, I didn't hate it.
No.
But...
so then what? We go up in the sky again.
Yep, and then we go up to the space. Then we go to the space lab.
We see super stupid G-force negative gravity, and we see Cat floating in the air. And G's. I get like really annoyed with like fake cat floating in the air stuff, and I'm like, ugh.
That CG is not very good.
And it's the second time they do that with the cat.
Yeah. And I'm like, what I do, something else that is funny. I do like after Nick gets his eye hurt and every time he's like holding the cat and you're just like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the time the cat's going to scratch his freaking eye and that's going to be what takes the eye out. I like that you spend like the whole movie like anticipating like his eye that's what his eye is going to go.
I think it's funny that they have a couple different situations where he could lose an eye and he's like, oh, it doesn't happen. Yeah. I don't like how he actually loses his eye, though.
Yeah.
Remind me how he actually loses his eye.
The cat, like,
So,
Scratching.
yeah,
Is that what
first they
he's
set up
scratching
the
it?
whole, like, car accident thing, and
Right.
that
Because
could have taken it out. And,
because in The Winter Soldier, he actually tells Cap, I think, how he lost his eye. And he's like, he lost it because I trusted somebody. Like
it's like the last time I trusted somebody, I lost my eye.
yeah,
Oh.
and it made it seem like it was a big deal. And this was
So-
super not.
I know we're kind of jumping the gun because the eye loss doesn't happen till later, but that is kind of my next note is, so are they retconning that? Or...
Yeah. I think they just
Or
did it.
does he just make it seem like it's a really badass way that he's lost
That
his
doesn't
eye
seem like
because
some,
he's too
that doesn't
embarrassed?
seem like something Fury would do though. Like
It really does. I saw a lot of people were like pissed about him losing his eye that way, and I was like, actually, I think it's kind of funny. And
I think it's funnier.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of sacrificing the story behind that for a joke, and I didn't really think it was worth it.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I think it's funnier that Nick Fury is
Embarrassed that he got clawed by a
embarrassed
cat.
that he got clawed by a cat. Yeah, and he tells everybody like, "No, man, I got in a fight with a fucking bear." You know, whatever. No, I'm Nick Fury, and I think it's funny. It's like, no, a fucking cat clawed me out in the eye, and I lost my eye.
Kind of like the Joker scars. Like the story changes every time.
Right. Yes.
So then we meet all the Skrull babies.
Yes.
Yep.
Can I say one of the because we didn't address him being introduced as a character as Talos,
Right.
Yeah.
the leader of the Skrull.
Yeah.
His dialogue is some of my favorite.
Yeah, he has
And
good
his
dialogue.
delivery is so fucking
Yeah.
funny.
You're my science guy.
Ben Mendelsohn is a very good actor.
Yeah.
So-
Ben Mendelsohn.
Who is it?
Ben Mendelsohn.
He
Okay.
is.
Oh,
from
yeah.
what? Why do I know the name?
He is the guy from Rogue One. He's the bad guy from Rogue One. That's not Tarkin. I don't know what else you would know him from. That's it. I know that you like Rogue One, so that's why I pulled that out.
Well,
I'm using my
Jess's
phone. I
phone is
can't
busy. My phone is off. You're the only one with the phone to tell me right now.
God, Thomas.
And you also have a computer right there.
His name is super familiar. I can't.
I know
think
the
of what
name for sure. I agree. His dialogue is also very funny. He has a lot of really funny, like one-liner, like quick, like under the breath, just
Yes, exactly.
just really funny stuff. When they're in the house and when he says like the thing about, you know, just put in the coordinates and where I was going to go and you'll just go there too. And he's like, really? You're my science guy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple lines of his in particular that made me laugh.
yeah.
He's on Girls.
Show me his
Did
picture.
you watch Girls?
I did watch Girls.
So when he's the Australian guy, when he's Nick Fury's boss,
Yeah.
that's Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so when he's a human, he is him.
When he's a human, he's himself as an actor. When he's Talos, he's in makeup.
So
Okay.
when he's Talos, that's not what he actually looks
No.
like. So then we have the really big, also really long fight that I even said to Thomas, like a quarter of the way through, I'm like, ugh, they still think the Tesseract is still in this lunchbox? Are we still fighting?
Yeah.
Well, there's also apparently Carol can just grab the Tesseract with her bare hands.
Is that not normal?
Well, if you remember from Captain America, when Red Skull grabbed it with his bare hands, he was teleported to another planet.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Question over here. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you. Please pick me. At the beginning of Captain America, remember
Yes.
how we start Captain America in the future and then we go into the past for
Yeah.
no apparent reason at all?
Uh-huh.
And at the beginning of Captain America, we find the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Isn't that happening in the now?
What?
Don't we find
Well, yeah.
the Tesseract in like the 2000s or whatever future on Captain America's ship?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Jess?
No. The Tesseract melts through the ship and goes into the ocean. And we see at the end of the movie...
No, wait. But the Tesseract is there back in World War One.
2. So, in
World
World War II, Red Skull finds the Tesseract.
How?
What?
If she told him to keep if the Tesseract has been hidden up until now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
So let me explain.
Lawson created the Tesseract.
Let me explain to you the chain of custody of the Tesseract.
Please do.
Okay.
Because I'm confused about the Tesseract being in the 90s right now.
Okay, so World War II, Red Skull finds the Tesseract at the beginning of Captain America.
Okay.
Uses it to make weapons.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Captain America happens at the end of the movie.
It falls to the
Red
ship.
Skull touches the Tesseract, and it falls through the ship into the ocean. Through the plane that he's in. Into the ocean.
Right.
And then one of the post-credit scenes, Howard Stark finds it at the bottom of the ocean. So Howard Stark has the Tesseract.
Okay.
Apparently, at some point between World War II and this movie, it ended up at Pegasus so that Lawson could make her Lightspeed engine that doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought that was the Lightspeed engine that she made.
That was the power source for the engine.
Okay.
So so we still have the potential of all of these movies that they could still potentially make between when, like, to tell us more about the Tesseract between the end of Captain America and the beginning of Captain Marvel, of where the Tesseract and all the other stones, I guess.
Well,
right?
part of the time heist in Endgame is they get the Tesseract, I believe, from...
Oh my god, well, we have to talk about the time heist. That's
they find the Tesseract somehow during the time heist in the 1950s or something like that.
Oh yeah, because they go back
that's where Tony meets his dad.
Oh, that seems sad.
That's where, so I think Cap goes and gets the Tesseract and Tony goes and gets Pym particles. One of those. Something like that.
So confusing. I'm already confused and we're only in the second Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's okay.
If that's where they got the Tesseract from, then how does Captain Marvel exist in Endgame?
Because Captain America puts everything back at the end of the movie.
God damn it.
How many do you think, like, when they made these movies, how many charts do you think that they have drawn of, like, the fucking timelines with all, like, the arrows and shit? Like,
it's probably a lot of charts and schematics.
Oh my god, do you think it's, like, insane how many people they have working on that stuff to be like, wait a minute, somebody comes in the morning and be like, did you guys think about blah, 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 and everyone's like, God, has to, like, rewrite a whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, back to this terrible movie. And then the fighting continues. Don't forget, we're still fighting.
Everyone gets captured first.
Mm-hmm.
And the Flurkin is now revealed to be a Flurkin.
The Flurkin is a Flurkin. Goose is a Flurkin, which is a dumb name.
do very much enjoy the moments where the cat is a Flurkin.
I enjoy Fury's reaction to the Flurkin doing things more than I do the Flurkin doing things. So.
Oh, that's fair. The Flurkin doing things gives me major Men in Black vibes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like.
I love Men in Black. Yeah.
And actually the cat being there in general gives me Men in Black vibes with like the galaxy is on Orion's belt type of thing.
Yep. So Carol's captured. And there's a whole thing with her and the Supreme Intelligence having like a battle of wits or I don't know, whatever. And then she's all like, I'm going to be powerful now. And then she goes and be's powerful.
She decides to take off her thing on the back of her head, which was something that I thought at one point when I saw this in the movie theater, I remember thinking like, why doesn't she just take the thing off the back of her head? That was something that I had thought of the first time I saw it.
She's fucking stupid.
Right? I remember thinking
because she doesn't care. That's why.
I just remember like
there's a thing on my neck. Who cares? Blah.
Right.
If I reach back there, it's this whole thing.
Right.
If,
mess up my
I gotta expend energy and effort to reach back there, and it's who has that type of time?
Yeah. But then we get the Captain Marvel final form. Super Saiyan, whatever. I don't really know those references, pretty dope. But it's fine, I guess. I don't know. She blows up some ships. She blows up some ships, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's powerful. Whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a fight that could have ended like 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a movie that could have ended like 6 times now, also soon, by the way.
I will say, when it's just the showdown between her and Jude Law in the desert.
Yeah.
And he does the whole, like, egging her on thing, like the typical villain and superhero, like, now let's fight, man to man.
Right.
With our bare hands and, stuff like that. And I couldn't remember. I was like, please tell me that she's not going to take the bait and we're going to have another 5-minute long fight.
Right.
Here.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she blasts him in the fucking face. And I'm like, okay, thank God.
That part did have good payoff. That's
exactly what I wanted you to do.
Yeah. When that part, because is there a scene and then that scene? Because I think when that scene started, Thomas and I went, we're still fighting. When that scene started at first, when I saw.
Yeah, they do so the lady Cree gets in the jet to shoot down Maria and
Minerva.
Fury. Yeah, Minerva. Yeah. And yeah, so she's hunting down the 2 ships, and Maria does the badass.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
She shoots her.
Shoot her down.
Yeah. And then we get to the desert.
Yes.
Yeah. So when the desert part started, I was like, we're still
where they,
fighting.
Crash land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I remembered what happened, and I was like, oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was awesome. When do we have all of the "You're Only Human" and we see all of the time she got back up again?
That's when
she's fighting the Supreme
That's when
Intelligence.
she's talking to Supreme Intelligence.
I do want to say, though, I feel like they hit heavy on the girl power thing throughout the whole movie. Very heavy.
I like this moment.
I do like that. I do like her getting back up again.
I think it's because it's the first time where we actually see part of her character.
Yeah, exactly.
And like what she's kind of stands for. Like
right.
It doesn't. It's the closest we get to character from her.
I agree that it's a little glimpse of character, but I don't like that it's just Captain America's character.
Captain Marvel.
Captain America.
No. What?
Her getting knocked down and this getting back up again, that's Captain America's thing.
Oh.
I could do this all day, huh?
Okay.
That's her little glimpse of character is just that, she's actually Captain America.
Right.
Just a girl.
Yeah.
She's the girl version of Captain America, which is just a gender thing in it. I don't like that stuff anyway, so. Yeah. But I like seeing her get back up. And
the whole thing with her getting back up, I agree, is nice. It just seemed like, they're just stealing Captain America's thing.
Okay, well, you know what you just did? It didn't bother me.
Allowed to have the same motivations.
Thomas, it didn't bother Jess and I, and it was the one girl power thing that we did like, and we're allowed to like it, and stop trying to ruin the one girl thing we did like.
I don't. Okay. You can feel that way.
Yeah,
but to me, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me because some people do have the same motivations to do things.
Yeah,
it's just.
Yeah,
I mean. It stands to reason that you can have.
Just, I don't know if I think a part of it was I felt like when this movie was releasing for Endgame, I felt like they were trying to have her replace Captain America's character in the lineup.
Really?
And I didn't really like that.
Oh, because we knew Captain America wasn't going to come out of Endgame.
Yeah, and because because the whole thing at the end after this, when we figure out how the Avengers get their name. And you're like, Carol's actually the first Avenger. I'm like, no, it's Captain America. He's way better. So
yeah, that's true.
It is true.
Yeah.
And then we go back to Earth.
Yeah.
And we see everybody being like normal. And this is when they're playing Uno and stuff. And I wanted to insert my cute Uno story here.
Yes.
My sister and I love Uno. Uno's one of my favorite card games ever. I don't know about you. Did you grow up playing Uno? Did you play a lot of Uno?
not very much
No, it's
because
just
I
you.
didn't have anybody to play with.
Julie and I played back and forth, and I actually, one of the guys I dated, his family played a really cool way where it was like, it was a very different way of playing with rules that I had never played before, and it's like a very intense way to play Uno, and I prefer to play that way now, and I always have to, it's a really cool way, like, the cards that are left in your hand are a certain amount of points, so if you're not out with your last card, like when the last person gets out, all those points count against you, or something like that, and so you play until somebody hits X amount of points, and then something like that. But, like, if you put a draw 2 down, somebody else can put down a draw 2 on top of it, and so that next person has to actually draw 4, or they can put a draw 2 down on top of that, and the next person has to draw 6, and people can just keep putting, like, draw 2s on top until, you know, fuck each other over. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is my sister's a cheater at Uno, and we used to play together a lot, and one time we were playing, and she just kept fucking getting, like, wild cards, and the wild card draw 4s, and I was like, how the fuck is she getting all the cards? And I realized that she had all of the fucking cards stacked underneath the armchair behind her in the living room on the floor, and she kept fucking swiping behind her and fucking putting the cards down. She's a little fucking cheater. And we were young, like, Like, I was like 8 and she was like 4, and she knew to cheat like that, or whatever that math would be. 8 and 5. Anyway. That's all. My sister is a cheating whore. I said it.
Wow. Hot takes.
Thanks. So whenever I see the game,
I'm not that surprised, actually.
Yeah. She takes big pride in that. That's all. We play games intensely in my house.
Yeah.
That's all. Back to Captain Marvel.
And then we get Space Pager.
Space Pager.
Space Pager.
A two-way Space Pager.
It's a 90s pager because we're in the 90s. Didn't you know that we're in the 90s? And in the 90s they use pagers.
Yeah.
There was a pager.
And she somehow also made it so they could have a graphic on there because she figured that out somehow too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the movie ends, and then we figure out how the Avengers get their name, which I also hate. Apparently, Carol's call sign when she was at Pegasus was Avenger, and Nick's was just like, well, that's a good name for a group.
I think that's stupid. I think that the Marvel thing is stupid. I think the Avengers thing, I think all that's all stupid. And I do agree that I'm like, I'll just shoehorned all that shit in this movie, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested. I want to do some digging into the comic book persona of her and like how her actual origin was, because I don't know. From what I've seen of her, it seems like she would be a badass character,
right?
And I want to like her.
I know.
And I'm really frustrated that after watching this, I do not give a shit about Captain Marvel.
Right. Don't you remember?
I don't care about Carol Danvers at all.
When Jess and I went to convention last year for a face painting convention, somebody was selling Captain Marvel like stencils that has her symbol on it. And Jess and I are like, well, because we're like, I can't freehand that. Thing. Yeah, we're like, she's going to be the big superhero this summer. She's going to be a big deal. And Jess and I bought it. Nobody has asked me for her ever.
And how many people do you get asked to do Wonder Woman?
All the time. All the time. Kids still want Wonder Woman all the time.
Because she's way better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that it, Thomas?
That's it. That's the movie. And then the cat pukes up the Tesseract.
Good stuff.
Yeah. That's it. That's the movie.
Hooray.
We did it.
It's 2 hours and 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's a really long movie. It took me 2 sittings to watch it.
It was a very long movie.
When it was starting to wrap up, I was like, good God, just end. My goodness. This is like turning into the Return of the King ending at this point. Not that bad, but
no.
it dragged on.
So you want to ask us our new thoughts on it?
So, Jessica.
Yes.
Have your thoughts on this movie changed with this most recent viewing of the movie?
I would say that I was less. I enjoyed it less this time around. I was less entertained. At least the first time it was the first time I'd seen it, and so I didn't know what to expect. So in that sense, I was intrigued enough to watch. This time I found myself drifting. I found myself getting bored at times. Still got some laughs out of me. I will say I don't hate this movie. I don't love this movie. I just kind of meh this movie. It's okay. It's a decent movie to throw on for background noise while you do other things, maybe. Because you're not gonna get invested in it.
Is it so you can hear the 90s music?
Exactly. But yeah, it's not one that I will go out of my way to watch again.
Yeah.
And I wish that I wanted more from it.
Yeah.
If they ever remake it.
What is a sequel called? They're making a sequel.
Why?
Well, hopefully they take notes. So I'm looking forward to the sequel and hoping for more. I'm hoping to actually care about this character.
Nikki? Were your thoughts changed?
So I was I was more bored this time, for sure. Like I said, I was falling asleep this time watching it. I don't know. I don't even feel like I was particularly tired because as soon as we turned it off, I was like re-energized. Because Thomas was like, we should go to bed. And I was like, okay, we need to make a grocery list first. And I was like, what do we need on the grocery list? And I was like awake for another like hour after that. But I wasn't as annoyed with her acting this time around as I was the first time. She still definitely she was still like dry, and her delivery on a lot of lines were still really weird for me, but her acting the first time, like I walked out of the movie theater the first time and I was like, why was she really bad acting? But this time I was more like, I just didn't care for how she did it. I think they just gave her bad directions. But yeah, overall, I think this is not a great movie at all. Like, this is just, I feel like they just had to make it, and it just was not done well enough, unfortunately. Which is disappointing. It is as a lady who deserves to have a good superhero lady movie about lady superheroes, I'm disappointed on behalf of all of us ladies. That's right.
Yeah.
That's how I'll say it.
In that sense, in the lady regard about lady superheroes wanting lady movies for ladies.
Yes. Yes.
My last comparison is I will say that Wonder Woman did it better.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Hands down.
Wonder Woman, wonderful.
And it wasn't just that, like, going in, I was more familiar with the character or anything. It was the way they told the story.
Yes,
was
for
better.
Sure. Way better.
Yeah.
Thomas, did your feelings change watching it this second time?
No, I think I feel about the same. I didn't really particularly like it that much the first time, and I don't really particularly like it that much this time either. I think that with it being the first MCU female protagonist superhero movie, I think that they should have given us more.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a big deal. Like, this have been kind of like if they had released this instead of Iron Man, the MCU probably wouldn't have happened.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah.
They were just like phoning it in.
The writers back then seemed to care more, so maybe they would have written a better movie.
Right.
Instead of phoning it in because they know they can get away with it.
That's true.
I think that they banked on the fact that this was going to be the lead up to Endgame. Yeah. And they also marketed it as the first female superhero in Marvel. And I think that they just relied on the marketing to do all the work instead of doing an actually good movie.
They were like, we have the fans. We know our fans are going to come and see it. We know we know that everybody's going to come see it.
Yeah.
What?
Have I described to you one of my favorite Mad TV skits?
I don't think so.
Because that's what this movie feels like to me. It's they're a skit where they're filming Harry Potter, like the second or third one, and the director, like, just all sorts of stuff is going on set, and they are like, nothing's right, and the director just clearly doesn't give a fuck. And at some point, somebody's like, we can't find the owl. And the director's like, I have this fucking Beanie Baby. Let's just use that. And he's like, this is Harry fucking Potter. Like, nobody gives a shit. We're going to make money anyway. Just
kind of like in the last season of Game of Thrones when they had a Starbucks cup.
That's what this feels like to me.
Yeah.
Like, they just threw a bunch of Beanie Babies on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels really disappointing with how historic this movie could have been. They just they phoned it in. And that's really disappointing. And I hope that for the sequel that they really step up their game. And I think that if they don't, that people need to give them a lot more shit for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I also hope that the Black Widow movie is good.
Yeah, me too.
Because I actually care.
It's a bad sign when you're comparing a DC movie to a Marvel movie, and you're like, oh, the DC one was better.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be happening.
That's not the right answer.
Yeah. I mean, in an ideal world, they'll both be good. But
right.
Yikes. All right, Thomas.
Yep. So
take us to that corner.
So, hey, guys. Do you want to know a free way that you can support us?
Free? I love free.
Free.
I also love free because I'm barely making any money during this.
Are you making no money during this social distancing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you also have a lot of time on your hands now?
Oh, wow. I have tons of time on my hands during this quarantine.
Well,
do your friends need entertainment while they're bored at home?
Oh, my gosh. So many of my friends need entertainment while they're bored at home.
Well, you could super duper help us out by visiting our social media pages.
What?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at YPIP Podcast. And you can friend us, and you can like all of our posts and comment on it, and we'll comment back to you.
To your friends, so they can also
send links to your friends so they can hear how cool we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them.
I think that.
Keep that. Edit that out. I'm going to be so mad at you.
Do it, because, guys, if you don't. Do you hear the work we're putting in? We're social distancing.
Look at that quality.
And we're
this
here.
Quality entertainment.
Qualitatively entertaining for you guys in this social distancing time. Because we care about you. Right. And we want you entertained while you're stuck at home.
Yeah, not everything has to be doom and gloom right now.
No.
Turn off Fox News. Turn off CNN. Stop reading Donald Trump's latest dumb tweet.
Seriously, just stop listening to him. Yeah. Are you in Michigan? Support our governor. She's working so hard.
Yeah.
She's working her ass off, dude.
Spend a couple hours and listen to us talk your ear holes off.
We're funny.
Yeah, we're funny.
Binge us.
Tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Highly bingeable show.
We really are. We were like, Tiger King apparently is a thing. We watched an episode. It was weird.
It was okay. I don't know.
I don't really know.
We're really liking Atypical
Tiger
right
King?
now.
Oh, yeah.
We watched one episode. I don't think I can get into it.
Yeah.
Look, I go to Netflix for quality TV shows like Love is Blind.
That's where I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should, what the hell was that?
I think it's raining here. I think it's thundering.
Oh, that's thunder.
Lightning.
Was it?
Do you hear it?
No, I heard thunder upstairs here. Did you not just hear that?
I heard a thump.
Oh, it's really close here.
No, that's thunder.
Yeah.
It's thundering here too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Oh, it's like we're together, guys.
Keep this in too, Thomas. It was weird because the lightning was in front of you. on our screen. Like, it looked like your phone flashed at you. It was weird.
Yeah.
Well, the front door is
door's
right
open.
over there,
Yeah.
so probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to your friends.
Yeah. Tell your friends about us. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's how we can grow as a podcast.
Yeah,
is
guys.
having more people listen to us. And
Please.
the easiest way to do that is for you to tell a friend and then for your friend to tell a friend.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But do it. Like, maybe go on your status and put, guys, you should listen to this podcast, and do @yourprincessisproblematic and tag us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Word.
Thanks, guys.
Holy rain, Batman.
Right?
Right.
It's getting
Yes.
difficult to hear you because of the skylight.
Oh,
So
Oh, wow.
I'm
Well, I
going
guess
to bring you a little closer.
I guess we better go to
Time. Captain Marvel.
Yeah. So I have a couple
Boom.
questions for you guys. First question is a legit FMK.
Okay.
Jessica's not going to hear us.
Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you.
Okay. Okay. FMK, two-eyed Nick, one-eyed DH Nick, old Nick.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna fuck old age Nick, cause right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna marry young Nick,
Two-eyed Nick.
two-eyed Nick,
Yeah.
two-eyed young Nick, and kill the other one. What's the last one?
De-aged one-eyed Nick.
DH one-eyed Nick.
Yeah.
I guess I kill him because that's just what's left over.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Fuck old Nick because he is daddy vibes.
My daddy listens. I can't say that. Although he might not listen to this episode, I don't think he's
Nick
watches
Fury
these movies.
fucks. Okay.
Nick Fury
But-
fucks.
Yeah.
And yeah, marry young Nick. Well, do I want young Nick or do I want the sadder but wiser Nick?
That's
Do I
true.
want the Nick that's aware of alien life forms?
That has seen some shit.
Or naive Nick?
That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
That is
It's a
true.
tough call. It's a tough call. I'll marry one-eyed Nick.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thomas?
I would marry two-eyed Nick just because he seems very genuine and he seems like he really
does.
cares about his job. He cares about his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would fuck old Nick.
Yeah, man. We'd all fuck.
And
Nick.
I would
Old
kill
Nick fuck.
I would kill one-eyed DH Nick just because he thought that Carol's call sign Avengers was a good name to make for a superhero group.
You're so bitter about
so mad.
Okay,
so
that's
mad.
fair. That's a fair reason, yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
If you were a Kree and you went to go talk to the Supreme Intelligence, who would it appear to you as?
Ooh.
Ooh. Good question, Thomas.
Thanks. I came with that all by myself.
Did you really?
I did.
I'm proud of you. Ooh, boy.
I feel like the wisest person, it's like the person that you know that's like the wisest person, right?
The person you admire the most.
Yeah.
Like the person whose opinion you would be like desperate to. Who do you want to impress the most? Whose
Aw.
opinion means the most to you?
Be my dad.
Yeah?
Yeah, it'd probably be my dad. I mean, does the person have to be dead? Because if it has to be someone who's
No.
like
No, it doesn't have to be
then
it
it'd
doesn't have
probably
to
be
dead.
it'd probably be my dad. Be my daddy.
Okay.
I don't have daddy issues. It's my daddy.
No, I can see that.
Yeah. I can't think of who else I can't think of anyone. Otherwise, I'd say like,
Bob seems like a hard man to impress.
yeah.
So the fact that you would impress him would like be like, I must really be fucking cool then.
Right, yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Boy, I think it would be Nikki.
Aww.
Eric.
Oh, you don't need to.
I think out of everybody, your opinion of me matters the most.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, who's your answer?
Don't fuck it up, Thomas.
I think...
Now, if you say Nikki, you'll sound like you're copying me.
I think I would have to go with my youth pastor from when I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because I feel like he was a really big part of my life at that point, and that was like a big... Obviously, it's high school. Everyone's like, "Oh, everything
it's a very
changed."
influential time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Everything changes when you're in high school. I'm like, yeah, shit. So, I think he was like one of the biggest like figures in my life at that point.
Yes.
Either that, or I would go with Justin Smith, who was my first commander when I was in the Air Force, and he kind of like set me on like my path in the Air Force. So. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what my answer is.
Nice.
One of those two.
Cool.
Yeah. That's it.
Cool.
Did you guys have a thing you wanted to
Yes.
thing? Yes.
Do you have
Go
an
ahead.
FMK?
Yeah,
Go
kind
ahead.
of.
Okay.
It's not a traditional FMK. It's kind of a cross between an FMK and like an end of the summary question. Which Captain Marvel movie did you guys prefer?
Shazam.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Nikki.
Out of the
Which
two,
Captain?
Yeah, I actually
Shazam or
would say
Captain Marvel.
Shazam
Yeah.
for sure. I liked Shazam better than this for sure.
Yeah, because I actually
I think
cared
I
about the
agree with
character. Yeah.
Shazam was funnier too.
The only thing that was wrong with Shazam is the action scene in the third act was stupid.
It was.
I don't remember
And the downside to Shazam also was that most of the funny lines were in the trailer.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
why don't watch the trailers.
Yeah.
Literally, Shazam is the reason that I stopped watching trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
was
stopped
like,
watching.
okay, clearly
I stopped
other
watching
people-
trailers because of Batman versus Superman.
Oh, nice.
Why
Still
did I
haven't
give
seen
away
that one,
some-
and I don't plan to.
Because
you
they
don't
Can't make
need
me.
to.
I won't do it.
because they spoiled Doomsday in the trailer, and it was really stupid.
Did they?
Yeah,
All right.
that's all.
That was my question.
All right. Okay. Cool. We did it, guys.
Yay.
That's it. That's the episode.
That's not the episode.
What else is episode?
The rating that you definitely came up
Oh
with.
yeah.
It's funny because her direct sight of eye contact is perfect with him. Like the way that your eye is trained is like
So I was looking at him.
you were looking at him like perfect. So it was like I was looking at him and you were
I was
looking at
trying
him.
to telepathically give you the answer, Thomas.
I forgot about the rating. I do have a rating.
I have a rating.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Nikki,
Oh, I will rate the fuck out of this movie.
what's your rating for this movie?
I give this movie 5 Spice Girls of Girl Power out of 100 times of me wishing I was watching Wonder Woman instead.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
Fair.
All right.
Yep,
That's fair.
that's right.
Yeah.
What do you got?
The Spice Girls, one of the songs that was.
No, it's not, because
Okay.
that was in the
But
90s.
it is a 90s reference.
It is a 90s reference, and it's a girl
Okay.
power reference.
Okay.
It's a relevant rating.
All right.
Yes.
Jessica understood.
Jessica, do you have a rating?
Yes.
Yes. What's yours?
I give it 1 flirkin
Uh-huh.
out of 4 scroll.
I thought you were going to say 1 flirkin out of 4 jerkins.
As soon as I say the word flirkin, I do immediately want to go into Swedish chef mode.
I'm thinking
You're
of,
flirkin, Jurgen.
But
I'm thinking of
that's
when I hear the flirkin, I think of is it a Tina Fey thing or is it Amy Poehler? Is it on 30 Rock when she's like in the flirkin jerkin? Flirkin?
That's a Tina thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like more of a 30 Rock thing.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
goes in the flirkin jerkin. It's when not Amy and it's not Tina Fey, but it's
Rachel
on
Dratch.
Rachel Dratch. It's her when she's playing an interviewer in the first season, and she's interviewing Jenna about the rule or juror, and she's going,
The Verger.
and she's going like, And the flurgen. She's just doing like all these nonsense, like Fergen, like
The rural Gerald.
yeah. I'll find the clip. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But I know what I'm talking about now. But I'm pretty positive it's like first season. Okay, Thomas.
Okay.
What's your rating?
My rating's not as good as your guys' is.
Oh,
I rate this movie 1 Top Gun reference out of 3 asshole dudes.
See, I thought you were going to say 1 Top Gun reference out of 590s references.
There's so much 90s references.
Yeah.
So many
Awful.
90s references.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it? We're in the 90s.
We
Do you get it yet?
in the 90s.
No, I don't get it. Where are we? When are we?
When are
Yeah.
we?
Why are
When
we?
in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
That's a 90s
And
reference.
with that...
Quick, what other quick 90s references can we all do? Beanie Babies. Friends.
Tickle Me Elmo. Furby.
Tamagotchis.
Furby would have been a good one. They should have thrown a Furby in there.
Oh my god.
Pet
And
rocks.
she like freaks out and like blasts it because it turned on. I was like, meow.
What if Furbies were also alien creatures like Flurkin?
Oh, that would have
Oh.
been great. See?
Mhm.
Boom.
Primo stuff. All right.
All right.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Let's get this over with so we can not talk about this movie anymore.
All right. We sound good from Jafar.
We sound good from Jafar.
Join us next in 2 weeks
for
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
And what's this one called, Thomas?
Harry Potter and the... Wait for it. Wait, stop. Nope. Order of the Phoenix.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Harry Potter.
I'm very excited to finally get to watch this movie because I finished reading the book, 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah,
and
it's
I've
been a while.
freaking waiting to watch the movie so I can freaking read the next book for the love of
Yeah.
Pete because
Pete.
I cannot wait to talk about this book. So
Same.
I can talk about the next one.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye. Subscribe, rate,
Bye.
review,
Get all on our social needs.
subscribe.